Hi guys, it's Daria and I'm with Lena today, and we would like to discuss the depths. So, Lena, what would be the standard depths for our wardrobe?
Yes, so for a wardrobe, we do an internal depth of 56 centimeters, meaning that the total depth of the unit will be about 61 centimeters. And the reason that there's a difference between the internal depth and the total depth is because of, at the front, the thickness of the doors, and at the back, we use battens to secure the units onto the wall, and we've got a backing as well. And we use 56 as an internal depth because we find that's a good, comfortable depth for any sort of clothes you'd have. So coats and things like that should fit perfectly well in there. When you look at a hanger, it actually is way smaller than 56 centimeters, and often you might feel like your clothes don't need as much, but often the sleeves of things can tend to push the doors open. That's why 56 is a good depth.
Okay, understood. But Lena, there is a case and a scenario when the client, for example, doesn't have that much depth. So, what would we suggest? What do we do in these cases?
Yes, so the 56 internal depth is mostly important when you want some hanging rails in your wardrobes. But if you don't have that depth, it could also be good to look at options of having shelves or drawers and something a bit more shallow. Because actually, for shelves, sometimes it's not the best to have a very deep shelf because it makes you have two rows of stuff and to have to store things behind other things, and then we tend to forget about them. So if you have something a bit more shallow, you could also have just a shallow wardrobe that then would be perfect to store folded jumpers or even shoes, and then you could see all your shoes without having to reach behind anything.
Cool, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. So now let's move on to the living room. So, what do we suggest for the cupboard, for example, and let's say for the floating shelves?
Yes, so a good standard depth for a cupboard is in between 40 to 50 centimeters. Of course, our units are bespoke, so if you find that you've got a specific item that needs a bit more, then it's a good time to check it when we do the technical drawings for you and to make sure that the depth will fit your item. But I think it's nice if it's about 40-50 centimeters. And usually when there's a room with two alcoves and a chimney breast, that often means that the cupboard will slightly stick out from the chimney breast, which looks really nice. And the floating shelves, in comparison, which are above all the shelf units, it's nice if they're flush with the chimney breast itself. And if the chimney breast is deeper than, let's say, 30 centimeters, then the shelves, I think, would be good to stop at 30 centimeters because, again, otherwise we get into having things behind other things. So 30 is a good depth for a shelf, and 40, 50 is a good depth for a cupboard.
Great, thank you so much for explaining that, and thank you so much for watching. So, please let us know what you'd like to hear from us in future.